Oh, hi. I'm Pat Beecham. I wrote and directed The Audience Strikes Back, and behind the camera is Paul Gentry, who also shot The Audience Strikes Back. There he is. Hi, Paul. Oh, by the way, I should say this in advance. The idea of shooting me today was not my idea. It was strictly Paul's. So I would never actually propose anything so egotistical. Really. And so anyway, that's why you're seeing me on camera. And the question today, the question before us, and the one posed by Paul, is why did I make The Audience Strikes Back? Well, if you have seen the movie already, that's probably pretty easy to figure out. It was made out of a sense of profound disappointment. Pause for dramatic effect. My disappointment with, in the beginning, with Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, which is part one. And that's something we always, it's kind of a running joke in the movie. What part is it? But anyway, so this thing goes back all the way to 1999, or just after I saw The Phantom Menace, and experienced, as I say, just a horrible sense of disappointment, as did a great many other people, and it kind of arose as a as a daydream, or kind of a fantasy in which people could get together and, including myself, and actually express to George Lucas how they really felt about the Phantom Menace. I mean, here's the deal. I loved Star Wars when I saw it in 1977, and the sequels as well. I talk more about this in the commentary, in the film commentary, but it had a profound effect on me. I loved the film. And like so many other people, I was keenly anticipating The Phantom Menace, only to have my hopes dashed to the ground. And of course, blamed George Lucas. As my friend Paul said at the time, he could have made any movie he wanted to. And that's the movie he chose to make. So anyway, as I say, there was sort of a fantasy in which people get together and actually tell George what they think of the movie, and really ask him, beseechingly, why did you make this movie? Why did you cast it the way you did? Why did you come up with this story? And so there was actually a very long gestation period for this film, and that was kind of in the back of my mind for a couple of years. And then along comes President George Bush, and he really was the other half of the movie. Um, uh, his presidency has probably been the most disastrous in the history of the United States. And I'm sure it will go down in the history books that way. And again, I was motivated by a profound sense of, really, of outrage and disappointment in the policies that he put into effect, and the things really that he believes in. And a lot of that is expressed in The Audience Strikes Back. Now, the challenge was to combine my disappointment, if you will, with Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, and my outrage at what was happening in this country. And so I think one of the things that really encouraged me was, in order to make this movie, I actually had to sell my car, and which was a very attractive little Mini Cooper. And the guy who bought it turned out to be a minister, a reverend. And I'll never forget, he came into the house to give me a check for it. And I think we were in the middle of pre-production. And so right at the beginning stages. So I said to the guy, I was really curious about this. I said, I didn't mention anything about the movie, but I said, in preaching to your flock, have you ever thought about using Star Wars as a kind of analogy, and introducing some of the, because there are certain implied biblical references in Star Wars? And his face lit up and he goes, "Yeah, absolutely. I use that all the time." And he suddenly became very enthusiastic and animated, and went on and on and on about it. And so it occurred to me that, yeah, that, tying in Star Wars with right wing politics and the radical religious right made absolute sense. And anyway, that became another spur, I guess, to making the movie, or at least a source of inspiration. So anyway, to kind of sum things up, the reason I made the movie is because I wanted to be able to comment in my own way on issues that I had very powerful feelings about. Um, might seem a little bit absurd, but Star Wars on the one hand, and the Bush administration and all of its machinations, and what's going on with the religious right and its the various hypocrisies that it practices. And I just wanted to be able to comment on both and really intertwine the two in as entertaining a way as possible. And I hope that we have achieved that. Of course, you will be the judge. I've also been asked to tell you this is my real voice.